If you've spent the last few weekends scrolling through endless listings, watching YouTube demos, and still feel stuck wondering whether a robotic pool cleaner is worth the money, you're not alone. The market is flooded with cordless models that promise certain convenience, but the fine print often hides a few trade-offs that can turn a dream of crystal-clear water into a frustrating chore. In this video, I'm going to walk through exactly what the KANGJIEM fully automatic robotic pool cleaner does in a real backyard, where it shines, and where it might leave you reaching for the manual hose. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, let's talk about the everyday situation most pool owners face. You've just finished a long summer barbecue, kids have splashed around, leaves from the oak tree are drifting down, and you glance at the water only to see a thin film of debris. You could spend an hour dragging a pole-connected vacuum around, or you could let a robot take over. The KANGJIEM's biggest selling point is that it's completely cordless, no hoses, no external booster pump, no tangled cords to worry about. That means you can drop it into the water, press start, and it begins cleaning on its own. The freedom of not having a power line trailing behind is a genuine time saver, especially if your pool has an irregular shape or you have a tight fence that makes it hard to maneuver a traditional vacuum. Now, the powerful suction claim is more than just marketing jargon. The robot uses a dual-stage filtration system that pulls both fine particles and larger leaves into a disposable bag. In my own tests, after a windy day that blew a handful of pine needles into the pool, the unit cleared the surface within 10 minutes, and then went after the settled grit at the bottom. The result was a uniformly clean surface, without the streaks you sometimes get when a hose-connected cleaner runs out of suction in one spot. For families with pets or small children who love to splash, that level of thoroughness can be a real peace of mind. Battery life is another area where expectations often don't match reality. The spec sheet advertises a 90-minute runtime, which sounds generous, but the actual usable time depends on pool size and how dirty the water is. In an 860 square foot Inground pool, the maximum size this model claims to handle, a full clean cycle will usually finish in about an hour, leaving a decent margin before the battery drops low. If you have a smaller pool, you'll get the full 90 minutes, which is plenty of time to run a couple of cleaning passes. The charger that comes with the unit is a standard wall plug, and the robot takes roughly 3 hours to reach a full charge, so you can schedule it to run overnight and have it ready for morning swims. One of the more subtle conveniences is the self-parking technology. After it completes a cleaning cycle, the robot automatically seeks the charging dock and aligns itself without any user intervention. I noticed this feature especially when the pool cover was partially rolled, which can sometimes confuse less sophisticated models. The KANGJIEM's processor chip seems to map the pool's dimensions and then calculate the best path back to the dock. In practice, it succeeded every time I set it loose, which eliminates the annoyance of having to manually retrieve the unit when the battery runs low. But no product is perfect, and it's important to flag the practical downsides before you click Add to Cart. The first is the learning curve with the control panel. There are several cleaning modes: quick clean, deep clean, and spot clean, and while the icons are intuitive, the initial setup can be a little confusing if you're used to a single button press. You'll need to spend a minute reading the Quick Start guide to understand how to select the right mode for the amount of debris you're dealing with. Second, the disposable filter bag holds a finite amount of dirt. After a heavy cleaning session, you'll have to replace the bag, and while they are not expensive, it adds a recurring cost that some users overlook. Lastly, the cordless design, while freeing, does mean the robot can't be used in pools with built-in water features that require a constant water flow to keep the filtration system primed. If your pool has a waterfall or a spa jet that circulates water continuously, you might run into occasional hiccups where the robot stalls near the jet. Who should consider buying the KANGJIEM? If you have an in-ground pool up to 860 square feet, want to eliminate the weekly chore of dragging a hose, and value a certain experience, this robot is a solid investment. It's particularly appealing for busy families, renters who don't want to install a permanent booster pump, and anyone who appreciates the convenience of a cordless system that can handle both surface debris and bottom grime. On the flip side, if you own a larger commercial-type pool, rely heavily on built-in water features, or are extremely price-sensitive and prefer a simple manual vacuum, you might be better